day, the poet Sam Abrams asked me if I had any activities planned for a visit by Allen Ginsberg to Rochester to do reading in the community and also at the Institute here. I thought, well, yeah, I might like to try to see if I could set up a meeting with Allen Ginsberg and the poet Robert Panara, and they could sort of workshop together, and that might be interesting to the poets and language artists here on campus.
Allen Ginsberg, plop, plop, it was like Walt Whitman coming to NTID.
So I thought, Robert Panara is going to meet Allen Ginsberg? That's amazing. I have to go. I mean, I had no idea that was going to be the day that changed my life. 360 degrees. I mean, totally turned me around.
I knew that Bob Panara and Allen Ginsberg were going to be having this sort of summit because Jim Cohn had let me know that maybe it was something that was worthwhile going to. I had no idea of what was going to happen. I thought that we might just go and compare their styles.
It was a class for my interpreting studies that I had arranged that the curriculum for that day would be this one workshop.
These are Australian Aborigine song sticks. And this is the oldest form of poetry in the world. But their method was very simple, rhythmic repetition.
He did this rhythmic movement with these sticks, and I was fascinated because I thought, well, that's not language. How could that be poetry? Then I thought, wait a minute. Maybe poetry isn't always connected specifically with language. Maybe the word poetry can be applied to painting or music, and not always with words and language.
20th century poetry is mostly picture and idea. So modern poetry, especially after Ezra Pound and William Carlos Williams and the Imagist poets, is almost specifically tailored for those who are deaf.
One traditional poetry, we gave him examples. I want to see some of a new. And when he talked about that poem, Hour,
who sat all night in submarine light of Bickford's cafeteria, floated out on the street, and sat through the stale beer afternoon in desolate beer bars, listening to the crack of doom on the Hydrogen Jukebox. So now what is a Hydrogen Jukebox in sign language? A Hydrogen Jukebox. Of course, that refers to a sound thing, the jukebox, anyway. A jukebox is a record machine, a mechanical record machine in the bars.
I understand, but why do you take that word, hydrogen?
Oh, the hydrogen bomb. The noise of the jukebox is apocalyptic. So the emergence of that kind of rock and roll and that kind of heavy noise is almost like the beginning of the explosion of the end of the world. Once it is explained, does any kind of interesting sparkle come through with that combination? Or does that go dead in translation? At least in translation.
Let me try.
That looks like it. Yeah, that looks like it.
At that moment, I looked at Alan's eyes And he said, that's it. It really hit me. That means that I can play with sign. Translation can even involve that element of play. I'm not bound by word-for-word English.
It was like the top of my head just came off. I mean, my eyes fell right out of their sockets, and I thought, wow.
What the Beat Poets did was to free the word from the confines.